Hello YouTube, this is Denoxkun speaking once again. Sword Art Online, episode 20, so let's get this going. Pretty interesting episode, I must say. Pretty awesome in some ways as well. It wasn't like, oh wow, this is really, but it's really good. So we start off, Kirito and LEAFA basically tried to get through all those monsters in the game. I believe those are, I don't know if they were bears or something. I forgot, but they're definitely hairy animals. I'm sorry, I forgot there. But they got through that, to all those armies of monsters, and they flew out of the cave. And then afterwards, we see that they meet up with two clans and their leaders. And there's also the salamander that's about to head there as well, because when Kirito and LEAFA they were flying around the air, Yui was able to sense exactly how many of these salamander guys were after the two clans, and there were 68 in total plus 14 more. That is a lot. And then I know the name of the leader of the Civ clan. Her name is Sakuya. But I don't know the name of the Kate Sif leader. But yeah, she's like she has blonde hair and she's like a cat. She had cat ears and tails or whatever. The Cat Sif clan. I could have sworn that name was used in Final Fantasy. Cave Sif, whatever it is. Yeah, it was used in Final Fantasy 7. So, I guess it's a generic name or something, and they can use it elsewhere, and there'll be no problem. There's no copyright in the whole thing, so I'm okay. So, I guess that's fine. So, as Kirito and LEAFA arrive to that area, we see the leader of the Salamander, which they say is the strongest player in the entire game, and I'm like, seriously? Whoa, so that means Kirito's gonna have quite a challenge, because Kirito accepted a duel one-on-one. But first he said that he was like an ambassador for the Spriggan or something. Yeah, his clan is the Spriggan, I believe. Yeah, he was an ambassador, which later on we found out was all a lie, just to convince him like he has a big title or something. And then the leader of the Salamander, I don't know the name, but I'll just keep a reference as King Eugene. He was the true leader, but this is his brother. And he has like a double-handed sword that he uses that actually could go through a defense. Like when Kirito was trying to block when they started their duel. Because, he said, if you're able to last against me for 30 seconds, then perhaps we could, settle our agreement between the clans and stuff like that. That sword of his could go through his sword. Like if it was a hologram or something, and it strike right through him. You know what really surprised me too in this fight? There were actually blood in this thing, and I know there was actually there were blood before in Sword Art Online, but not too much, because in Sword Art Online you notice that when they get cut or bruised or something, they just, like example, you see the time when Kirito got stabbed numerous times in episode 10, but you don't see any blood coming out there, right? You actually see blood coming out elsewhere. I'm sorry about that. Somebody's calling me at the wrong time. Let me just check who it is. Okay. Anyways, like I was saying, I'm sorry for that interruption. I do not want to edit this thing, so I'm not stopping. So, where was I? Yeah, about the sword, about the blood. There was, when he was slicing the leader of the Salamander, when he was slicing Kirito a few times, there was actually blood coming out. And I'm like, what? So this is like more realistic compared to Sword Art Online, because Kirito got stabbed like crazy a whole lot of time by what was his name, Kuradale, the really crap. He's probably a little bit worse than Sugo right now, because he's so sadistic back then. But there was no blood ever coming out. There was just like holograph, like those type of wounds, like I don't know what it's called, but it's like those red parallel runes that you receive in the game, but you don't see any blood coming out from that, but here it was. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So here is like a little bit more realistic than it is in Sword Art Online. So, they actually add more depth into this whole game. So, Kirito, we're going back and forth with this guy, and it was a really awesome air battle for a while. They were like in equal terms and stuff. They were almost at the same strength. And then, when Kirito was about to get defeated, he got hit a lot of times by his sword. There was a smoke bomb, and he took LEAFA'S sword because what he needed is so he could use the double blade technique because he didn't have it in this game. Because he had the ability, but he didn't have the two swords, I believe. So he used both LEAFA'S sword and his sword, and when his head was about to get cut off, he used his second sword to block it. And I'm like, oh my god, that really scared me there for a sec. But that was a close call for Kirito. So after that, Kirito went all crazy and everything. He sliced the living heck out of that guy. He even sliced him in half. A lot of blood were coming out. A lot of holographic damage and all that stuff. Wounds. And that was the end of that. And then later on, Sakuya used a spell on the red spear that, you become a red spear after you die in Alpha Online. Then you return to your own location where your clan is. But in this case, Sakuya used a healing spell so she could bring him back to life before he lost all those points and everything. And then, Kirito and the leader of the Salamander, they become good friends. So it seems that, they're looking forward for the next battle. And, they tell him that you're really good at sword fighting. It was really fun, sparring with you and everything. And, they were on good terms. But guess what happened to Sigurd? Yeah, Sakuya, did a little, dark barrier out of nowhere. He did a mirror communication with Sigurd, and Sigurd got disbanded pretty much because he was the one behind all this Salamander attacking. Because he wanted to use them so he could create his empire, but he couldn't do that. So now Sakuya, the leader of the Sith, which is I think I don't know if Sigurd's the former leader or something, but I'm just going to leave that alone right there. Basically, he got removed from the clan, so he's just gonna be a mercenary. Wait, no, that wasn't the word they used, right? A renegade. That you could be a renegade. You could, just do whatever you want, and just be a low, non-recognizable player in the game from now on, because he lost his position to be one of the leaders of the Sith, or one of the main team here, because the leader of the Sith was Sakuya, and the leader of the caster was with her as well. So they got into good terms and everything, and the two leaders, the two female leaders, they were really smooshing over Kirito, begging him to join their clan and help them out and all that stuff. And Kirito was all nervous. He was blushing and he had his heart pump. Yui can actually notice that because he was in his pocket. She was in his pocket. LEAFA got really jealous and he was trying to pull Kirito away from these two girls, but before he said, Kirito's my blush and blush and blush, and she couldn't admit that Kirito's my boyfriend. No, that ain't gonna happen because he already has Asuna. It's just a very embarrassing moment there, but Kirito he gave the Sith and the K-Sith a little bargain, a lot of money that he was able to make a castle out of, but he didn't need it because he just joined the game so he could rescue Asuna from this Sugo guy. So he gave all that money to them so they could increase their empire, because they're more into the game than Kirito. Kirito's only there for one reason. He doesn't care about anything else. He's just he's having fun, but at the same time he only has one goal: rescue Asuna. And and what really happened at the end is no surprise. But before I get there, we know now that the K-Sith clan and the Sith clan are going to help Kirito. They're gonna alliance with him once they have all the equipment ready, so they could go against the Fairy King Oberon. Yeah, that's his actual name. I just know that in my mind now, but I still gonna call this guy Sugo for now until we see what this Fairy King could do. Yeah, I wonder what the Fairy King's actually gonna do when he finds out that Asuna is actually free, because now Asuna knows all the code, like the end of the episode, and she typed all the codes in, and then she was set free. And they say, Kirito, I'm gonna try my best. I hope that I can find you. Wait for me, or something like that. Asuna was barefoot. Yeah, in the whole thing. But, you know, I just wanted to bring that out there. And it seems that Asuna is gonna roam around the World Tree now. Yeah, Kirito and LEAFA heads to the World Tree themselves right now. Asuna's probably in the top, so... You know, hopefully Asuna can find Kirito. Who knows in the next episode? The next episode's name is gonna be The Truth of Alphen. So this is gonna be pretty interesting. We're gonna find out what really is going on with Alphen Online. And we're gonna probably see that bastard Sugo as well. So, looking forward for that next episode. I'm pretty sure the next episode is gonna be a lot better than today's episode. But today's episode was pretty good too. That fight was pretty awesome. Anyways, take care. God bless. Stay cool. And until the next review. Bye bye.